MBIPRFORTTPS ? All right, sorry guys, you got me in the middle of an eye exam there. Well, the mark bus, DSS. The D stands for, damn, the story's still going on. Last week, we learned DSS founder Kejan Clark was on a 4-way call with the police commissioner, investigative journalist Mark Besant, and another man who at the time was said to be either a police officer or a confidential informant or somebody from the US Embassy. Who knows? I mean, at this point, you'd have thought that Gary Griffith would have learned not to be an intermediary in phone conversations.
To revoke the appointments of the Honorable Attorney General, the Minister of National Security,
and no one was spared.
Throwback. But by his own admission, Besant facilitated that phone call between Clark and Griffith and whoever that mysterious fourth person is.
According to the investigative journalist, despite Clark's claims, he never sought to exclude himself from the conversation involving Police Commissioner Gary Griffith.
That is completely untrue. My source who reached out to me spoke with this man on a number of occasions, and he said he's willing to provide information. And the source reached out to me and asked if I can facilitate that with the Commissioner of Police.
So we ask, what was his role there? Reporter, informant, wingman? I mean, now that we found out that Mr. Clark, the DSS founder, recorded the conversation, supposedly, I mean, I guess he was gathering evidence. So, as the journalist in the conversation, Mark would have been recording too, right? Because, I mean, if it was me, I was either not staying on the call or I was going to record it myself because, you know, I'm not there to investigate. I'm there to get a story. And if I have the proof, well, then that's gold, right? So, of course, the Express threw a wren into the works. And now we're all like, well, who's telling the truth? So here's what we know. The call happened. And that's it. What happened on the call is all he say, she say, hearsay. Because Clark is claiming the commissioner told him there was no crime committed. And the commissioner said, nah.
The commissioner addressed the allegation of a brokered truce between the police and DSS founder Kejan Clark.
Mr. Clark seems to be a very confused individual. I would not give assurances to anyone whilst they're being thoroughly investigated by several different agencies within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and external. The only assurance I can give anyone is that if it is that they break the law and we have enough evidence to verify that someone is breaking the law, they would be arrested.
Clark also claims his application for a firearm user's license would be dealt with if he gave up the names of officers who invested in the DSS. Again, Griffith said, nah. The commissioner, via a GML story with a lot of information but no byline, wink, said Clark requested asylum, but Clark said, nah.
I'm not seeking asylum anywhere, nor have I agreed to seek asylum to pass any information anywhere.
So many unanswered questions. Just release the tapes. Because all of this is playing out where we'll get the DSS angle in the Vexpress and we'll get the commissioner's version of events in the Guardian of the GG. And in all of this, Newsday is just looking on like Batman in a fight against Doomsday. You just be like, hey, you go ahead. I'll just watch this from over here. Me and have that kind of power. God forbid we get the whole story in one article. I mean, meanwhile, the commissioner is back in town. Ireland lockdown, be damned. Because he needs to personally oversee this probe. I mean, and how much Guinness you go drink anyway? And the police went back to Kathleen Drive in La Joquita once again. And this time they seized upwards of $7 million. And now the DSS is saying that it can't make payments to you, the investors, if you are an investor, because, well, police had the money. So like any legitimate business, they went to their insurance company. What? Oh, they don't have insurance because they're not. Oh no. Okay. So like any, what did they? Oh, they went to you. Yeah, they went to you to help pay their legal fees.
With all our records, electronics, receipts, and close to $8 million of your money the people of the Trinidad and Tobago, and members of DSS, we are at a standstill temporarily until this whole situation is rectified.
And so it begins, well, or so it continues. Remember, DSS was, and technically is, kind of a smooth operation. I mean, the investors were pleased. Nobody cares how it works, as long as it works.
Everything I do in the bank to get a loan, I can't get it. And here, you put in 5,000, you get 30,000 in 28 days, right? It's one of the best investments that black person could do right now in Trinidad.
And that was kind of just a wait-and-see approach, because if police continue to hold on to that money from the DSS, they could bring about the collapse, which, I mean, would have happened eventually. It's still a Ponzi scheme. And then the TTPS becomes the bad guys again. Oh, they're too wicked! And government's really not bailing out anyone here. This ain't Clico. So, what lessons have we learned here, kids? Nothing. Because this tit for tat, Kejan versus Gary, Denise versus Mark, it really doesn't answer some of the bigger questions that we have as a society, like what does the DSS actually invest in, and why as a nation do we not have clear-cut laws forbidding Ponzi schemes? And why are commercial banks so terrible? Yes, guys, you are the worst. Because, let's be real, if they were doing what they were supposed to, and that is providing a safe space to keep your money and get like a little decent interest on your savings, DSS would not exist. Let's take a break.
There's something